not being offended at God because your life hasn't turned out the way you thought it should, or you had a rough beginning, or you didn't get to go to college, or you didn't get the raise you wanted, or you've wanted a child and you haven't had one yet, or you've been believing to be married for 25 years and you're still single, and whatever the case might be. Trials can make us bitter, but they don't have to. They can actually turn out to make us better, because a lot of the Bible that we know is just theory until we have to put it to practice in our lives. And when you have to put it to practice, then you really get to know God. You don't just know about God, but you get to know God in a deeper way than what you can ever possibly imagine. Mark chapter 4, beginning in verse 14. Therefore the sower sows the word. The ones along the path are those who have the word sown in their hearts, but when they hear, Satan comes at once and by force takes away the message which is sown in them. It's good to come and hear the word, but it's even better if you take that word with you and you keep it in your heart and you meditate on it and meditate on it. But it's very like Satan the minute you leave to throw something at you that's going to distract you and get your mind off of what you just almost learned to make sure you don't really learn it and begin to apply it to your life. The ones along the path are those who, when they have the word sown in their heart, Satan comes at once. Satan is alive and well on planet Earth, and he's out there trying to make sure that we don't grow spiritually. Amen. He's not happy you're here, but if you're going to be here, he'd like for you not to get anything out of it. And they have no real root in themselves. Everybody say root. And so they endure for a little while. And then when trouble or persecution arises on account of the word, they immediately are what? Offended. They become displeased, indignant, resentful, and they stumble and fall away. Now, every one of those words are very interesting words. Resentment, offense, indignant. You know, that indignation is just a little, well, shouldn't be happening to me. Why is this happening to me? It's amazing how we're okay if things are happening to everybody else. They should trust God. Well, just trust God. But when it happens to us, well, I don't know why this is happening to me. And well, we got to be very careful about the thing of, well, God, I go to church every week and I tithe and I pray and I do this and that. Can I tell you something? God doesn't owe us anything. Amen? That's just the truth. If we all got what we deserved, we'd be in serious trouble. And they stumble and they fall away. They stumble and they fall away. You see, the definition of offense means that it's a stumbling block and it will cause you to fall away. In other words, if you get offense in your heart, then you can no longer grow spiritually. And if you're not growing, see, in God's kingdom, there's no such thing as being static. You're either going forward or you're going to drift backwards. You got to keep going forward or you're going to drift backwards. You got to use what you've learned or pretty soon it will become dormant on the inside of you. Love has to flow in order for it to really be love. Love comes in from God, it's got to go out to other people. It comes in, it's got to go out. This is an active religion. We're to participate and be active. The other definition of the word offense that I read and talked about a lot last night, very interesting. It says it's the part of the trap on which the bait hung that lured the victim, the animal victim, into the trap. So let me just say that offense, being offended, whether you're offended at somebody else or whether you're offended by trouble you're having, or tonight we're going to talk about not offending yourself, and that's going to be an interesting message for all of us. Some of you think, why in the world would I offend myself? Well, you're going to find out. Resentment makes us bitter. Resentment is an inner attitude that basically says, I am offended that this is happening to me. And who are we offended at? Well, we can either be offended at God, and you know, most people are not going to outright say, I'm mad at God. But I can guarantee you, as sweet as you all are, And as amazing as it is that you wanted to come to the house of God on a Friday morning, we have some people, hopefully not many, but some people sitting here today, and when this goes on TV, a whole lot more, that are even using trouble that you've had in your life as an excuse not to believe in God.